Okay. Hey guys. So I think we'll wait for another couple of minutes, because I'm pretty sure that there's still a few people arriving. So give us 2 more minutes and then we're going to kick this off. All right. Christoph, what do you think? Should we start?
Yeah, let's give it a go, I'd say. We will be recording the webinar anyway, so for those joining in later, they can also re-watch all the content afterwards.
Perfect. All right. So good morning and welcome everybody to our webinar, where we are going to talk about networking opportunities, but also how you can join ISPO Brandnew, and especially the ecosystem and the community of ISPO Brandnew to maximize the success of your startup. I'm Marcus. I'll sort of moderate you through the session today. I've been working with ISPO Brandnew now for about 1.5 years. I'm also an entrepreneur like some of you guys. So I've started my own business about 10 years ago. And when I initially started out, I was, to be honest, probably a little bit naive in thinking that it would be a lot easier than I thought it would be. I then entered a roller coaster ride, and that's mostly an emotional roller coaster ride where there's days, and I'm sure you can fully relate to this, where you're all over the moon because you've just won that one deal where you think that's gonna sort of make it for you, and only to find out 2 or 3 days later that you've just lost one client that makes up about 70% of your revenue, and all of a sudden you're down in the dumps again. Juicy, over to the next slide, please. And with that emotional roller coaster ride, is probably to understand that and manage that is one of the most important lessons for any entrepreneur. There's a really good book by Ben Horowitz, who is quite famous investor in the Silicon Valley. The Hard Thing About the Hard Things, where he describes eloquently what this journey looks like. So if you're ever down in the dumps, that's the book to give you inspiration and hope. Over to the next slide, please. Because if we look at the real stats, they look pretty grim. We all know that probably about 9 out of 10 startups fail. It's of those 30% already in the first year, and that it's really only about 1% who reach the 10 million euro revenue mark. And then, of course, the big question is, what can you do to increase your odds? So basically, what are some of the key success factors or elements that are important as you start out on your sort of startup journey that will help you to maximize success? And so one of them is certainly the power of networking. In particular, finding platforms and networks that can help you to grow your business. And so what this webinar today is about is for all those startups of you out there in the sports field, who are basically keen to leverage our existing network. And with that, I'll hand over to Christoph, who's going to talk in more detail about what ISPO is, what it's all about, and in particular, how what you need to do in order to apply and become part of the ISPO community. Over to you, Christoph.
Thanks, Markus. So Juicy, if you could, skip to that slide. Thank you. My name is Christoph. I'm responsible for our startup program, ISPO Brandnew. And as we have been inviting mainly startups that already showed interest for ISPO Brandnew or approached us, I would like to focus on what do you really get out of participation, and how can the ISPO global network support you in your future business. So above all, as you've seen, our mission is to accelerate the global evolution of sports. How do we do this? ISPO is a global sports business platform. We have several events internationally, 2 events in Munich, Outdoor by ISPO and ISPO Munich. We have 4 events in China, and we have different other formats all around the world where we bring stakeholders in the sports industry together to create added values. Like, for example, earlier this year, we did a conference in India in September. We'll do another conference in Riyadh in Saudi to really help local and international stakeholders in the sports industry to connect and create mutual benefits for their respective business. All those events are connected year-round by a content hub, our media and news portal, ispo.com, where we, throughout the last 7-8 years, established a pretty significant international reach, B2B and also B2C, reaching out to those stakeholders who have a high affinity to sports. Our flagship event is ISPO Munich, and that's also where ISPO Brandnew, our startup program, takes place. ISPO Munich has more than 60,000 participants with more than 1,000 media representatives taking part. We are creating a reach. Last year, the media reach was more than 3 billion. So substantial, significant media reach we were able to establish over the last years. We're bringing together the global community of sports from Asia, the Americas, Africa, and like this, really provide all our participants access to the global network. And as mentioned before, part of this really huge and important sports business platform is our startup program, ISPO Brandnew, where we have several elements. First of all, a startup village where you can present your brand, product, service, solution. And then for pre-selected startups that have gone through our jury selection process, an international jury with investors, market experts, founders, those startups then will have the opportunity to pitch live on stage. That's something we are doing in a slightly different format. So it's founders fights. It's not just pitching on the stage. It's really 2 startups always on stage, one competing against the other in a very friendly way, of course. Apart from that, we're offering for all the participants speed dating sessions. So speed dating sessions with potential clients, with media, but above all, also with investors. And the highlight of those 3 days of ISPO Brandnew always is our elite networking night with a party. So that's where you can mingle, that's where you can meet other startups, other founders, business partners, investors, and really take a chance of having the whole startup ecosystem at one place. How does ISPO Brandnew contribute, or how did ISPO Brandnew contribute to the success of startups that have gone through that program in the past? Is something you can see on that slide. So we are doing ISPO Brandnew in a slightly different format for almost 20 years now. And I'm sure some of the brands you can see on that slide, like POC, GoPro, Maloya, Crocs, are very familiar to you, but they all started in ISPO Brandnew as startups, and then with the help of our startup program became bigger and bigger, and now are mostly very well-known brands. Next slide, please, Juicy. So I'm sure now you're asking, okay, it sounds interesting, but what does it really mean for me, and what do I get out of it? What is the pricing on the one side, and what is the detailed benefits? And that's something my colleague Juicy will now explain you in detail, and after that we are of course happy to answer any of your questions. Over to you, Juicy.
Hi, good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks for joining us, and I'm glad to give you a couple of information about what joining ISPO Brandnew would look like. As Christoph was already mentioning, we will build a future lab, which will be the core of innovation within the bigger ISPO, which will be around 10, 11 halls. There will be the future lab, one full hall where you startups will be like in the center, among with other innovative solutions. What a classic startup solution looks like is something you can already see from the picture. It will be a 4 square meters booth where you will be placed with the chance to brand and personalize a little bit in order to make sure people will recognize you at a first sight. And of course, we are well aware of how difficult it can be to organize for the stand building and the setups and the tickets. This is why our package actually includes everything you would need to then be able to join the trade show in December. What you will get is listed. We can scroll through it. Of course, is the stand construction, exhibitor passes, logo printing, all the boring stuff, but which is of course very important, like energy, waste disposals, as well as lockers. And of course, guys, if you say we would like to need extra elements, for example, you have a digital product and you would definitely need a display to show it and to make it better understood, then you can of course book extra furniture or elements. What is of course included, as Christoph mentioned, is participation to ISPO Brandnew Award, which is, we would say, the most important competition for startups in the sports and sports tech, wellness and fitness field. So you would be applying for ISPO Brandnew and automatically be included in our ISPO Brandnew Award competition. We would then provide you with the details to apply, but what we really try to make it as smoother and as easier as possible for you startups out there is you will never need to deliver physical products, because maybe many of you are still in the prototyping phase, or are you over the ocean. It will be like difficult. So the process for the ISPO Brandnew Award is digital. What we need is a couple of information, some videos, which will definitely be further described upon application. And what is the procedure? The first step is, of course, to book your ISPO Brandnew booth on ispo.com. And upon that, you will receive instructions to apply for ISPO Brandnew Award. Upon that, our international jury, among which international athletes, for example, Misha Zverev, the former tennis player and now actually an investor in sports, among others, will just scroll all of your application, will take the time, and if pre-selected, you will have the chance, the challenge, and probably the emotion to be there live on stage and pitch in the so-called Founders Fight Club on a box ring, and your fantasy will be free to be expressed, because we have seen many, right, Christoph? You can be very creative with the costumes and with the masks. You can impress us, and of course the audience, because the audience there, B2B people, business people, will be there and will be looking for the best solution. And of course, the way you present it makes also the difference. Apart from that, you will be able, each of our startup is allowed and is welcome and is invited to show, to participate to speed dating sessions with journalists, investors, and potential business partners. If this sounds interesting for you, just get ready for ISPO, which will be from the 3rd to the 5th of December. And application deadline will be on the in the end of September, because upon that, our international jury will need time to get through all of your application. And now it comes, Christoph, for all of webinar participants, we have defined a special offers, which will include the whole services, which we have already just listed, at the price of 1,990 instead of the classic price 2,290. And of course, if you do this by the end of July, which will be next Monday, if I'm not wrong, by the way, the 31st of July. So we are always available if you have any questions, or if you have just spontaneous interest to get to know more. Just our LinkedIn profiles are linked here. Our emails are also available. But what we would also like to announce, guys and girls and everyone out there, is our webinar in September with ex-tennis star and now investor Misha Zverev. The title will be, as you can read, Accelerate Your Game, Unlocking Success in Sports Tech with Misha Zverev. And we will have the chance to provide you further insights on how successful startups can be really supported by investors who are actually attending our platform and making it even more interesting for you. And it will be in September. We will be publishing it on LinkedIn, so just stay tuned.
Good. There's a few questions. Christoph, I think you've already seen them, so I'll sort of hand them over to you. The first one is, I think the first one we've already answered, which is about extra furniture. Juicy, you alluded on this.
Yeah, let me say a few words on that one. So the question was, can we bring extra furniture with us, or are you providing? So we are providing, and that's something Juicy showed. We are providing the standard setup, which includes obviously a desk and chairs. But of course, there is the possibility to rent additional furniture equipment if needed. So once you are registered, we will put you in contact. I think will be probably beginning of September somehow with our stand builder, and they are happy to provide you with extra furniture if needed and if possible to accommodate within your booth size. Second question was, we use in expos a human-sized mascot to share info in the expo and bring people to the stand. So this is actually something, of course, many brands want to do, and that's also the reason why we have a application and registration process for such kind of promotions to ensure that there is only a certain amount of promoters really going around per day. This is, if you're interested, let us know and we can share the exact details, including the cost for such promotional activities. Another question, Liam is asking, will this same opportunity be available in 2025? Yes, as I said, we are offering ISPO Brandnew since more than 20 years. The format has changed, I think, 2 years ago a little bit. Obviously, 2025, we are providing the same opportunities. If you're interested, but not yet ready, Liam, I would recommend to visit ISPO Munich to have a look at the startup area, the future lab, the whole show, and then based on your experience, you can then take a decision on 2025. Next question, a lot of questions. What are the videos to be uploaded after the application? So maybe Juicy, that's something you can answer. So I'm not 100% sure if I understood sorry, this question in the right way, but maybe elaborate a little bit on when do we need the videos, how do the videos need to be elaborated, and what kind of videos do startups typically upload. I think that probably will help Ilya to better understand what to provide.
Yeah, it is part of the application for the award, and what you are required is a video, a small one short video of around 2 minutes, where in your opinion your product, your service, your startup is best presented. So it's really up to you, that you are completely free to set it up as you prefer and as you think it will be most impressive. Of course, there will be a further section of the application, which is replying to different questions, or actually a few domains, a few topics relating to your team or the market value, and which you will be informed when you apply, and you will be able to have a more precise idea of what you are, what we are looking for. But important, since the application for the award takes a little bit into account, it will be better not to, or at least is our suggestion, not to apply like the last week. So in the end of September, it will be better to take some time for you to not be in a rush when preparing the application.
Yeah, and there's a follow-up question. Then I would return to the other questions. We have a video example on the website. So we don't have a video example on the website because we do not share those videos publicly. We can check this. I think it's a good idea, maybe with one of last year's participants. But we do have, once you receive the link, to our award platform. We will have the opportunity to read through all those requirements and all that data that is needed on our end. And there is also a few criteria obviously attached to the video you need to upload. So hopefully that is enough to give you the rough framework on how that video should look like. But yeah, it's a good suggestion. We will definitely take into account. Then there was another question: how will the mix and match meetings, so the speed dating and get together, be organized? So maybe Markus, you can talk a little bit about the speed dating meetings, and I can then talk about the networking part.
Yeah, so the speed dating in general includes, I would say, 3 different audiences. So we've got startups on the one side, and then we have investors and potential business partners and or clients on the other side. There's going to be a specific time. It's probably going to be around the final pitches, where we will organize it. It's probably going to go for about, depending on the size of people interested, but somewhere between, I would say, 60 and 120 minutes. And essentially, you've got business partners and investors on one side, startups on the other side, and then you've got about, I think it was 3 to 4 minutes per networking where you can pitch your idea or your product, if you already have that. And then the next step is then you obviously provide your business card or whatever other digital means you want to use. And then once you've done that, you move on to the next person. So it's a fairly dynamic and fast-paced speed dating that we provide. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and then there is on the second day in the evening, there is a get together, the elite networking, and this is more like informal and not the guided matchmaking, but a networking where between, I'd say 150 and 200 attendees out of the sports startup ecosystem are able to network basically. In terms of what Markus just mentioned, so just to give you a better idea, we usually do 2 pitching sessions on the first day of ISPO Munich, so on the 3rd of December, and then 2 more sessions on the second day, the 4th of December, to to identify, let's say, the category winners, because we are having 4 categories, category winners, and then on the end of the second day, there is the final pitches, and after those final pitches, we'll have the elite networking event I just mentioned. So, as far as I can see, there are no more questions. If I missed one, please shout out in the chat, or if you still have another question, put it into the chat. Okay, there is another question. Is it the right platform for a small sports brand going through restructuring? Depends, the answer, because we have some fixed criteria, which is that the startup, the company itself, is not older than 10 years on the one side and doesn't have more than 50 employees, and obviously also not publicly listed, etc. But if you fulfill that criteria, then obviously it's also the right platform. If you're just launching a new brand in an existing company, then that's of course not considered a startup, because we're not only looking at new products for new and innovative products, we have another solution, which is ISPO Award. We're looking at the whole startup, so the founders team, the product market fit, etc. So I hope this answers your question, Cap. Okay, more questions coming in. If the startup is 3 years old but is a spin-off of a company, it does something completely different, would it qualify to participate? Again, the answer is it depends. So if it's a separate company, and I assume a spin-off is an entity, its own entity, then it qualifies. If it's only a department of an existing company, then it's more difficult, and I'd say it's impossible to participate. Okay, let me see. That's not a question, just a comment. Is a service business eligible, or is it only for products? No, Michael, it's actually for products, physical products, for services and solutions. And that's also the reason why we have different categories, the categories I mentioned before. So we have 2 categories for physical products, for more physical products. Then we have 1 category that's more related to sustainability solutions, and another category that's digital products and platforms. So as mentioned before, and as you can see on that slide, sports tech, for example, is a growing field within the sports industry, and is most of those solutions are actually digital or have a digital component. So that's why we offering that category as well for digital platforms and solutions. Cap is asking for a contact. So if you could, you've seen our contacts. Maybe Juice, you can go back to the contact side. So just send us an email, and we will forward your request to the right person within our team for a company that's 10 years and older. Okay, let's see. Over in England, we're having focus like this to bring in potential investors from the Blue Earth Summit. I know you have been working with them. Will there be any sign of this partnership in this project? I'm not sure if I get the whole question. We have a cooperation with the Blue Earth Summit, that's true. So if there are investors in the environment, let's say, of the Blue Earth Summit, then of course they are also very welcome to participate in our program, ISPO Brandnew, for example, in the speed dating and the get-together, elite networking. Yeah, if you need more information, or if you need any communication materials to reach out to them and to invite them, just let us know. Okay, I think that's it so far. Let's maybe wait 30 more seconds to see if more questions are dropping in. If not, of course, you can use our contact data. Okay, there's one more question coming up, but in the meantime, what I wanted to say is use our contacts to reach out to us if there are any further questions related to how to participate, requirements, or any other question, and we're happy to answer those afterwards as well. Oh, a very specific question. My project is developed under plus 10-year-old company, but by December will be on a new company dedicated to the application that is eligible. I would say it's a very complicated question, to be honest. But the day the trade show and ISPO Brandnew project starts, the company needs to be 10 years or younger. So if you're able to transform your company before ISPO Brandnew starts on the 3rd of December, then I don't see a problem. Obviously, you would need to also mention this and already mention this in the application process, where you present the startup. If that startup is in place before 3rd of December, then it's eligible. Okay, so I think that's it now. Thanks very much for joining. Enjoy for those who are watching the webinar as a real life version, and reach out to us for any questions you may have. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Good day, everyone.